Dr. Lowe, Jim Chalmers certainly sounded like he was making some comments yesterday in relation to your decision. How do you respond to what he said in Canberra?
I'm not going to respond to kind of particular comments he made. So he like me, want to get on top of inflation. So we have to do that, and the Board of the Reserve Bank is strongly committed to it. I think we can still do it with preserving the gains in the labour market, or at least some of them. But if inflation stays high for too long, then we won't be able to. So that's the path we're trying to navigate, and the government understands that.
Yeah, I don't think any of us died a shock once we saw the Fair Wage Commission come out with a 5.75% wage increase late last week, that we got an interest rate increase yesterday, and I'm sure there were many other factors that were taken into it.
Yeah, so there are many other factors. That was just one factor, as I said. And I think it's important because it's not like we're just responding to the Fair Work Commission. We've seen developments overseas, the domestic inflation data, housing prices, the exchange rate, the Fair Work Commission decisions, state government wages policies and the federal government wages. So there's a whole bunch of things, and when a whole bunch of things all point to the same direction, it suggests the risks are shifted, and in our risk management framework we respond to that.
Yep.
That's our frame of reference.
Yeah, we saw, and we again heard Richard Clarita referencing back to the inflation in the 70s and the damage that did. That's why all central banks are focused on slaying this inflation dragon, so to speak. Do we have, we're getting close to time, but do we have any more questions? Looks like we've got, okay, we'll grab one over here. See if we can get that microphone working.
Governor Lowe, Edward Boyd Addis. Take three. Governor Lowe, Edward Boyd Addis, Sky News. Look, you have mentioned the Fair Work Commission ruling last week. Were you surprised by the increase in the minimum wage, how large it was, and how much is this going to add to the risk of a wage price spiral in Australia over the next few months?
It was higher than we had factored into our forecasts, as I said in my prepared remarks. How much it adds to the inflation outcomes really depends upon whether it spreads across other parts of the labour market. The share of the labour force that's covered by the award increases is still fairly small. The concern would arise if the 5.75% increase became a benchmark or a quasi-benchmark for outcomes in private sector wages more broadly. I'm really hopeful that doesn't happen, and the big increase last year didn't become a benchmark for other increases. So we have some experience here, but the longer these big increases go on, the harder it will be for wage outcomes in negotiated agreements to stay where they are. So it's a risk factor we're monitoring, and as I said before, the solution here is stronger productivity growth to underpin big increases in nominal wages.